Summer Chelle, a permanent 5-star light wand unit, again breaks my expectations. With units that have fixed dragon forms getting dragon drive and their alternates, I thought Chelle will be the same. But then again, I'm an idiot for thinking that they'll put 2 gacha dragon drive units in the same event. However, the one recurring pattern that she follows is affliction support for the newer series of afflictions, her 4 flashburn, Summer Leo for Shadow Blight, and Summer Alex for Scorch Rend. Thus this already makes her a good unit to have. But let's go into her kit further and get more detailed information on why she should be a part of anyone's roster. Her first skill, Sol Leostivo, costs 2950 SP. It deals 2751% damage, inflicts flashburn, and lowers flashburn resistance by 20% for 30 seconds. This skill also fills 1 bar of the Ravishing Radiance gauge. The gauge basically provides her with buffs, and are only filled by this skill alone. I'll explain more in the abilities section. Aside from the gauge, the damage to cost ratio is quite good, and the reduction of flashburn resistance certainly comes in handy when fighting long battles. Overall, this is a powerful skill that is vital in the overall function of her kit. Her second skill, Estate Brilliante, costs 6300 SP. It heals Chelle with 40% recovery potency, resets the Ravishing Radiance gauge, and fills the Dragon gauge by 10%. This skill is more utility than anything, providing a way to increase Chelle's survivability. The resetting of the gauge is actually very important to her, as well as the filling of the Dragon gauge, although it is not obvious at first sight. Overall, it is quite a confusing skill by itself for Chelle, but plays an important role when working alongside her exclusive ability. For her co-abilities, Chelle has the standard skill damage co-ability, and a flashburn shadow resistance chain co-ability that is honestly worse than the typical resistance with combo requirement. This is because this co-ability doesn't apply to team members that cannot inflict flashburn. For her abilities, we'll start with her exclusive ability, Stunning Summer Scion. It grants Chelle the Ravishing Radiance gauge, which has 3 bars. With 1 bar, her chance of inflicting flashburn increase by 30%. With 2 bars, her chances increase by 50% and doubles the damage of her first skill. With 3 bars though, she gets a 50% movement speed debuff, which can be dangerous in situations where dodging is required to evade attacks. This is where the reset of the gauge becomes important. It basically removes the debuff as well as the obtained buffs, which can be re-obtained relatively quickly. During shapeshift, the gauge can also be reset. Also, she'll transform into Summer Cat Sith regardless of any dragon equipped. This version of Summer Cat Sith is very different from the equipable version, as its skill is able to grant a 50% increase in inflicting flashburn for the entire team. This also gives Chelle an additional element of team support. Additionally, when using her first skill, she'll be granted a defense amp with a maximum team amp level of 2. This grants her first skill more defensive support capabilities. She is resistant to curses, preventing her skills from getting disabled by curse-inflicting attacks, which is important for supportive units. She'll have to watch out for poison though. Her last ability is HP 70 equals flashburn time. This allows an increase of flashburn duration on enemies by 30% when her HP is at 70% or above. This ability requires the HP requirement to be reached, and thankfully, with her defense amp and her shadow resist from her chain co-ability, this can be achieved quite easily. Despite being an attack unit, Chelle has impressive flashburn support capabilities. She also has one of the highest flashburn affliction rates among other units at present, and that strength should be capitalized on. She'll do well with a standard offense build with a bit more skill haste, to not only allow for her first skill to be charged faster, but also allow her to recover her full power faster every time the gauge resets. For her dragon, Summer Cat Sith is obviously meant for her. The highlight of this dragon is the 25% flashburn Punisher when she has a team defense amp, easily achieved since her amping skill has a low SP cost that doesn't have a stupidly long cooldown. The skill prep that comes with this dragon helps this out too. The best general choice is Reborn Jean, with her high damage modifiers that match well with Chelle's high skill damage modifier. Thor is a decent unit for her, especially when she has the maximum skill damage mods that she can get from her kit, allowing her to have a burst of huge damage from her first skill thanks to the Energize. Raphael is as usual, a good dragon for a balance of strength mods and survivability. Taishan Gongju is an alternative option if you want to have Chelle as a flashburn support bot. Gilgamesh and Cupid are last resort choices if the rest of the good dragons aren't available. For weapons, the no-brainer option is the Bryanak that for some reason looks like a scythe. Its most powerful aspect is the 10% skill haste it grants when using its second alternative skill, a perfect skill for a unit that has strong offensive and supportive capabilities. The Primeval Thunder is a good alternative option, especially when you are just starting to build the Bryanak, as Tartarus stages are quite tough. For her Wimprint setup, I wanted to attempt to get an affliction bonus, while still have each Wimprint serving its purpose on her. This is what I'm able to come up with, while having the Bow's Boon print that provides her with additional 6% skill haste, independent of the 15% limit imposed on Wimprints. Summer Chelle is definitely a very powerful unit to have in a light team, not only due to her high skill damage modifiers, but more importantly, her capability in flashburn support. Her arrival fills a long empty role of light affliction support, a role where quite a few units had filled in their respective element. Of course, she has her weaknesses. The way that her Ravishing Radiance gauge works does not really optimize her for a bot role when skill damage is of equal importance as flashburn support, as her gauge will be reset early whenever her second skill is available. Of course, this statement is nullified when you only care about her flashburn support. Overall, Summer Chelle is an excellent unit with a balance of damage and flashburn support. Now go out there and find that many of the character stories of recent summer units explore further into their character and past. Go find out what's with Chelle and her history with fellow Sparrow Guard Captain, Leaf. That's all from me. Moga out.